Hello, my name is John Schneider. When I was a kid, I used to visit my Grandma Vi in the Jersey Bayshore area, and I'd take 8mm movies of my family and their friends. In fact, I was the family filmmaker. Today I live here, but traded my film camera for video, and recently shot this tugboat in the Shrewsbury River. Welcome to Jersey Bayshore country. Where is the Jersey Bayshore? Let's get oriented by starting with the big picture. It's somewhere in here, part of the universe, and definitely part of our world. But it's like no place I've ever experienced. And as soon as we land, I'll show you around. Hello, and welcome to a video guide to the Jersey Bayshore. Not the Jersey Shore, the Jersey Bayshore. Hello, I'm John Schneider. I am your host. I'm so thrilled to be doing this. There's so much to do and see here. I'm not even sure I know where to begin. First of all, we are virtually surrounded on three sides by water. We have 120 square miles of land. There's some 14 towns and a national park known as Sandy Hook, which comprise Jersey Bayshore area. These are towns like Aberdeen, Atlantic Highlands, Belford, Hazlitt, Highlands, Homedale, Keensburg, Keyport, Leonardo, Matawan, Middletown, Navesink, Port Monmouth, Sandy Hook, and Union Beach, and there's also a couple of small villages as well, like River Plaza and Lincroft and a couple of other areas. It's a beautiful little area. One of the main roads running through the Jersey Bayshore is Route 36. So from one end, as you enter the Jersey Bayshore, which is basically Keyport and Aberdeen, if you take Route 36 all the way to Sandy Hook, and you cross the bridge to Sandy Hook, that's about 20 miles. We've got 266 feet, the highest view of anywhere on the eastern seaboard. It's an incredible view, lots of picture-taking opportunities, recreation, parks, entertainment, waterfront dining, boating, fishing, music, shopping, a beautiful countryside, interesting homes, museums, hiking, educational opportunities. Some of our historic attractions include, you've heard the names, the historic Twin Lights with the best view in New Jersey, bar none. There's Sandy Hook, a couple of haunted mansions throughout the area, house tours, shopping in quaint beachside towns, strolling along one of the boardwalks. There's a lot to do. Our dining experiences are definitely going to satisfy every appetite, and people actually do ride well over an hour just to get to some of our restaurants. The food is absolutely phenomenal. Incidentally, this is also an area, especially with all the water, where the sun pretty much always rises and sets on the water. The sunrises and the sunsets are phenomenal, and we're going to show you some of those in this program. Tourists come to our area from everywhere, by car, train, bus, ferry, and they may stay for the weekend, or they may stay for a couple of weeks. They tell us in feedback that they mostly appreciate our area because it's more relaxing, and it's a more interesting alternative to the Jersey Shore, quite frankly, and perhaps even more family-friendly. They also appreciate the fact that there's more to do here than in other areas of equivalent size. There's something else about this area that I haven't told you. It really is part of our history. It's in our blood, and that's our love and our appreciation for the bivalve. That's right, you heard me correctly, the bivalve. Another word might be a mollusk. That doesn't sound very appetizing. How about if we just call it the everyday clam? That's right, it's the simple clam. Clamming is in our blood. Clamming is what we're all about. That's why some people refer to the Jersey Bayshore as clam country. If there's any major industry here, it's clamming. And people have been harvesting or raking clams in this area for a very long time. I wanted to know more about it, so I started hunting down these so-called clammers, and clamming sometimes goes back for generations within families, and they have very strange boats with numbers on the side and their names, and they go out very early in the morning and they come back with clams. I had no idea what it was about, so I decided to take my camera out into the Raritan Bay, and I found it difficult to find a clammer that would first of all talk to me, and I finally found one. His name is Richard Gardner, and he's been clamming for a very long time. And he said, "Sure, John, jump on the boat and I'll take you out there."
I just love getting up early in the morning, so I go out early. I've been getting up early for over 30 years now, and I can't break the habit. It takes a lot of perseverance, what it does take, and I guess anybody could do it, just you can't get a company to work for it right now because there's so many clammers, and each plant only has so many baskets to be filled. There's 240 baskets over there. They'll all be out in the water today. 170 is my digger number, okay? 10 is where we're going. You see, the state has each section of the bay divided into different numbers. This way they can trace the clam. If the biologists find a clam that's contaminated with some kind of lead or whatever, that they can trace exactly where it came from. The only rule is can't start to sunrise, and all the boats have to be back to the clam dock by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's anybody's personal choice as to what time they can go out. I mean, we have fellows that don't even leave the dock till 11, 12 o'clock in the morning, but they, yet they're still back in by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's, some people, whether they do things in the morning or they just like to sleep late, I have no idea. Like I said, it's more of a personal choice than anything else. Is freedom. Work on the water is basically kind of like freedom. I think we all have that desire for freedom, like being my own boss, being self-sufficient, being not told what to do, when to go out, when to come back, when my coffee break is, when I got to eat lunch, The bay's clean, and that we have what we call the New Jersey Department of Water Monitoring. They come out and constantly check this bay, and it's clean, believe me, or else they wouldn't let us out here. It's clean.
Let the ships slide by you.
See, when we reel it up, or even when I do this, it keeps the handle on top of the water. 60 foot altogether. Then I start to lobster it. As you can straight, that's a song. Rod and reel. You put the rake in the water and you rake the clams up out of the mud. Well, the boat has to move to catch clams. We can't just sit in one spot. So in order to get the boat to move, if there's a little breeze or a little wind, we can use the sail, helps the boat move just a little bit faster, especially on slow days like we're experiencing today. Yeah, what we have right now is the wind against the tide, and if the wind was with the tide, we would be moving. The wind's going that way, but the tide's going that way.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
If I was catching and we had a good drift, you can't shake the rake anymore because it's so full, so you won't hear them rattle. So that's when you reel it up. Today, it's not going to be full, believe me. We have quite a few clammers. A lot of them don't work every day. I think it's approximately 30 or 35 of us that work every day, 6 days a week, that are constant goers. You know. In the winter, most of the time we go down to about 14 of us that work year round, and it's almost not unlimited, but you could, if you could do it, you could do 10 or 15 baskets, but they're usually just bigger clams anyway. This is poor, real poor.
For all the work, yeah.
Yeah, well, can't really work yet. There was something stuck on the tooth of the rake holding the rake about.
Oh.
With all the regulations with the fish sizes and the price of fuel anymore, you don't see, I mean, 20 years ago you would have seen 20 boats going out, 30 boats, sports all over the place. And now, especially after the storm, a lot of people don't even have any sports boats left, you know.
If this is so hard, why do you do it?
Love the water.
Yeah, but
Well, once you're on the water, you can't really get away from it. It gets in your blood. You know, if you got up in the morning and didn't have a boat to go down to, you wouldn't know what to do. You know, the government stepped in and they don't let you just go do anything you want. You have to have a license, and most licenses are what they call limited access. So if I wanted to go, say, drag a net for fluke, you know, be a dragger, I would have to basically buy somebody else out, buy their permits and all that. You see, so the government made everything more difficult. See, the faster you go, the more tink, 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 tink you'll feel. That's the clams hitting. I hear some clams, but not many.
4.5, 630.
From the tide line on the beach to some guys do work in the Raritan Bay in 30 foot of water, and I'm sure there's clams deeper than that. You know, so I mean, they don't really stick to one certain depth. There's no real secret depth or anything. You can find them pretty much any place. I don't know. The guys call them blood clams. See the white part?
Yeah.
Out here? That's this year's growth. That's 1 year's growth. Some people say that we think we're really taking a little too many. But the growth rate in Sandy Hook and the Raritan Bay is unequaled in the world. And the New Jersey DEP, they know that. And they come out and they tow a dredge in the exact same spot for the exact same amount of time. And then they reel it up and count the clams. And they go to maybe 10 different spots in Sandy Hook and Raritan Bay. And then they take the count that they got that day, compare it to the count they got a year or two ago, and they see that the amount of clams they caught is still the same. So according to them, we're not overfishing the bay. If the tide starts coming in with just this little bit of breeze, we will move a little bit. You know, like I said, right now the tide is holding us back. If you've never done it before, it's going to really hurt, and I do believe you give up because it is hard work. There's no doubt about it. It's worse than digging ditches with a shovel, and they don't even do that anymore. They use a backhoe, but we still have to work with the old rake. We can't use anything modern. And to talk you into clamming, I wouldn't try to talk anybody into it because it's just a laborious, ungodly job, and you don't have any like steady income. Your pay varies week to week. It can be good, it can be bad, it can be mediocre. In the winter, we get a lot of time off where there's no pay. So any money that you do make in the summer, you got to try to hold a little bit to get you through the winter. So working on the water, it's just like any other job on the water. Some fisheries are good in the winter, and then the guys have nothing to do in the summer, and vice versa. You know, we do better in the summer because the clams are easier to market, and we catch the smaller ones. In the winter, we catch mostly big clams. So our paychecks go down severely. That's all there is to it.
Okay. I went back to the yard. You guys have fruit trains today?
I'll do a fishing rod then. Alright, so you can see something. There we are. These are conchs. They eat these. They got pots out here to catch these. It's another kind of snail. Conchs. We're sitting here waiting for a drift to come so we can catch some clams. That's a big clam. You can tell he's got stuff going on. Little neck, top neck, cherry stone, and the next one up would be a chowder.
That series is now 11 o'clock.
Keith and I didn't get dirty today. Damn. We're limited to 240 baskets have to be divided up amongst so many diggers. So if they leave the dock with 7, if some people don't fill all theirs, they go back in empty, we can put them back out in the water, the baskets, because they weren't filled. And they start what they call rotation by alphabetical order. And wherever they left off the day before, they start the next day. And a guy might get 8 or he might get 9. This time of year, to get more than your 7, because everybody likes to work in the summer, of course, because it's so nice, you're basically stuck with your 6 or 7 for the day. In the summer, because we catch a lot more of the small ones, there's a lot more small ones in a basket than there is big ones, of course. In the summer, we'll process, we've processed up to 175,000. Recent numbers I've seen 118,000 and 134,000. Because there's some people that still catch a lot of the big ones. It's their choice to do so. And so, of course, their count of clams amount in the basket is a lot less than a guy that's keeping the smaller clams. The smaller clams, you get 500 clams in a basket, where a bigger clam, you get 200 to 240 in a basket.
Okay, I'm Kevin Kirk. I run the J2A clam plant. I've been doing that for the last 11 years. The plant was built in the early 80s. Jimmy White and a few of his other guys, Dickie and a few of the older guys, put some money together. They got the lease to run the plant. Basically put everybody back to work. For 20 years, a lot of guys weren't working, and it was basically set up so they would go back to work. Shellfish are basically generally consumed raw. If everything was cooked, you wouldn't have a problem. But since it is a raw product, it has to be depurated through here. We break them in, the orange baskets are full U.S. bushel basket. We break them into the dish trays or racks. They're a half bushel. We have to wash them, clean them. We put them into a 30 bushel insert. That goes into the water for 48 hours. We pump fresh seawater over the top of it. It's a closed system, which basically means that we're taking water from the river into our reservoir tanks, and we recirculate it through UV lights. UV lights kill all the bacteria in the water on the first pass through. The clams just sit there purging what they do naturally. They filter the processed water and they purge out whatever in their guts. The second time through, it kills all the bacteria that they had through them. The process is actually done in 24 hours, but for safety standards, they have us running in 48. And right now, our regulations are stiffer than the federals, the state of New Jersey, that is. Certified is our sales arm. The Baby Protect Association basically formed that company to sell our product. For some reason, the state will not let me move product. A lot of our stuff will go to Virginia, Boston. A lot of it goes still to Philadelphia and the New York markets. I'm amazed at how many people walk down here and have no clue we're here. I mean, this is people who've been in town for a decade or two, have no clue we have a clam plant. They have no idea that Highlands was built on clams.
Well, that's about all the time we have on our show today. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, I'm John Schneider. It's been so much fun being your host on the program today. Bye-bye.